Have you ever stopped to wonder why the oldest, simplest piece of tech advice is still, by far, the most effective? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack the surprisingly deep reasons why turning it off and on again works wonders even on our most advanced gadgets. Okay, let's get into it.
Oh, you know that feeling all too well. Your phone is acting sluggish, your laptop is completely frozen, some app just refuses to cooperate. And the first piece of advice you get is always the same.
I mean, it seems almost laughably simple, doesn't it? How can something as basic as a power cycle fix these incredibly complex, cutting-edge devices we all carry around in our pockets?
And look, this isn't just some running gag from the IT department. It is the go-to, #1 solution for tech experts all across the globe. From a tiny little app glitch to your entire system slowing to a crawl, this one simple action is a seriously powerful fix.
A reboot isn't like just jiggling a loose cable. What you're doing is forcing your device to completely abandon its current problematic state and just start over, fresh. It handles everything: software bugs, memory leaks, overheating, even a botched software update. It is, quite literally, the universal solution.
So what is actually happening inside your device when you hit that restart button? Well, it all kicks off with your device's short-term memory.
Let's talk about RAM, or random access memory. The absolute best way to think about it is like a digital workbench. Every time you open an app or a file, you're placing it on this workbench to use it. It's super fast, but, and this is key, it's also temporary.
So as you go about your day opening and closing apps, it's like putting tools on and taking them off the workbench. The problem is, apps aren't always so great at cleaning up after themselves. They leave behind little bits of data, leftover processes that are still taking up space even though you're done with them. Tech folks call this RAM leakage, and it's just like your workbench getting more and more cluttered over time.
And that is where the magic of the reboot comes in. First, it just dumps whatever the computer was doing. All that glitchy code that was causing problems, it's just gone. Second, it literally cuts the power to the RAM, which wipes your entire workbench clean. All that clutter just vanishes. Finally, it reloads the operating system fresh from its permanent storage, giving you a perfectly clean slate to work from.
But, that brings up a bigger question. If our devices are so powerful, why do they let this mess happen in the first place?
It's a totally fair question. Why can't a super sophisticated operating system just keep that RAM workbench tidy all the time? Well, the thing is, it tries.
You see, the system has its own little automatic cleanup crew, and it's called the garbage collector. Its whole job is to constantly patrol the RAM and clear out any data that's no longer being used by any active program. But it's a really complex and delicate process.
Now, here's the clever part. The garbage collector doesn't actually hunt for trash. Instead, it does the opposite. It goes through and identifies and marks all the data that's still in use, what it calls live objects.
Next up, it does a sweep. It goes through and deletes everything that wasn't marked. Those are the dead objects. Now, this frees up space, but it also creates all these little gaps in the memory, which can slow things down.
So the final step is to compact. It takes all the remaining important data and moves it together to create one big, continuous block of free memory. It's a really efficient process, but it's not foolproof, and it actually takes processing power to run.
So as you're multitasking, jumping between apps, your device starts to feel what's called memory pressure. You can see here how the free memory, in green, starts to shrink, forcing the system to scramble and reclaim memory from other areas. Eventually, though, it's going to reach a breaking point.
And when that pressure gets too high, your device unleashes the low memory killer. And yeah, it's exactly as dramatic as it sounds. It starts force closing apps, usually starting with the ones in the background. In really extreme cases, it might even kill the app you're currently using. Your device is basically in a constant battle for survival.
But this story doesn't end with software. There's also a fundamental physical limit that stops our devices from just powering through this mess.
A common thought might be, well, why not just make the chips faster and faster, right? If the processor was fast enough, couldn't it handle all this memory cleanup without us ever even noticing a slowdown? Turns out, the answer is a hard no. And that's because we ran smack into a hard physical limit known as the thermal wall. The relationship between a processor's speed and the heat it generates isn't linear, it's exponential. Just look at this problem. A small boost in clock speed, say 20%, creates a massive spike in heat and power usage, like 73%. We basically hit a wall where we simply couldn't cool the chips down fast enough.
So instead of trying to make one single processing core faster and faster,
The industry pivoted. They started adding more cores to their chips. It's way more efficient to spread the workload across multiple cores, which is exactly why your phone today has an octa-core processor, not a single blazing fast.
So when we put the software picture and the hardware picture together, you can really start to see why that simple reset is so incredibly powerful.
Let's recap real quick. Your device slows down because its short-term memory, that Workbench, gets cluttered. The automatic cleanup process, garbage collection, is a constant, imperfect battle. When memory pressure gets too high, the system starts killing apps to survive. And on the hardware side, we can't just build infinitely fast processors because of that thermal wall. A reboot is the one simple action that just cuts through all of this complexity and resets the entire system to a clean, optimal state.
So the fact that the oldest trick in the book is still the most effective one isn't a failure of design. It's a built-in acknowledgement of this incredibly complex balancing act. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In a world that's racing towards fully autonomous systems, what does our reliance on a simple, manual reset tell us about the real-world limits of creating perfect, self-maintaining code?